Welcome to the channel. Have you ever tried docking your boat and nothing you do works? You can't get the bow in, you can't get the stern in, the wind is just wreaking havoc with you. Well, I hope by the end of this video we'll shine some light on what could be the problem. The title of this video is the most important cleat on your boat, bar none, in my opinion. Okay, let's go all the way back to the beginning. When you started learning how to drive a car, you got into a vehicle, and when you turn the front wheels, the back wheels follow. You own it, you agree with it, the whole 9 yards, and it's fact. But you're on asphalt. The tires are connected to the earth, and it's true that when you're moving and you turn the wheel, those back wheels follow where you're going. But that's not what happens on a boat. When you are on a boat, your rudder, your engines, if you have an outdrive, whatever, your propulsion system back here, what makes it go, what makes it turn, everything is in the back of the boat. So if we're going to turn to the left, the stern goes to the right. Conversely, if we're going to turn to the right, the stern goes to the left. It's a relationship, back and forth, okay? So if you look right here, right in the center, you have a pivot point. If you can wrap your head around this little concept, your boat driving will radically change. You're not connected to the earth. Get the whole car thing out of your head. You're on a pivot point. This boat is affected by wind, by current. It's all over the place all the time, and it's not connected to the earth. It is being steered by a pivot point. So, what do I think the most important cleat on the boat is? Number 2, bar none. In my opinion. If you don't agree, hit me in the comments and we'll have a lively debate. All right. I have modified my training aid with a shoestring. Now, if anybody asks you if I'm running my channel on a shoestring, you can say, yeah, I saw it. Okay. Let me see if I can make this make sense to you a little bit here. For you guys that drive a boat by yourself and you come into the dock, you make your approach, you come on in, you beautiful approach, you put over line 2 and you make it off. If you give it some left rudder, like you're going to turn to the left, that'll make your stern go to the right. It's on a pivot point. Make it go to the right. You've got it clutch ahead. You can get out of the driver's seat and that boat will stay exactly where it's at with one line on the dock. That's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you want to go put other lines out, you can. If you just want to pick up a passenger, whatever you're doing, but one line, line 2. Does this make sense to you? You're down here, you've made it off, and the stern is being held in by the engines because you're clutch ahead with some left rudder. So let's talk about getting your boat off of the trailer. If you are over here and you pull your boat off the trailer, you can pull this boat right in to the dock. It'll come. If the bow starts coming too fast, it's just going to touch and you're still going to get it on the dock. If it comes off the trailer and the stern comes in too fast, it's still going to lay up and you're going to tie it up. I watch people do this with a bow line. And they come in and now they're beating the crap out of their bow first off. But how are you going to get on this? And it's where people fall in the water. It's where you end up on qualified captain. I watch people have a bow line and a stern line, and then they're trying to get the extra line tucked under their knee, or they're trying to tuck it in their pants or what. You only need line 2. Okay, pull it off, bring it in. How about some pretty decent wind? Let me get a little room here. We're going to have the wind coming right off of our bow. And this is going to be our dock. And we're gonna tie up right here. My next video is going to be about wind, so I'm not going to steal too much thunder, but you always want to have your bow into the wind. If you have the choice. You may not have the choice, but we're talking a perfect world right now. Have your bow into the wind and get the line over to the dock. Let me just throw this caveat out here. We beat this to death, but the whole idea of this channel is to build on what we've already talked about. And we have talked about handling lines and tying off to a cleat and so on and so forth. You want to use your people because you've trained them. If you can put your person on the dock, that's optimum, especially if you're docking in high winds. You need a hand and you need somebody who knows what they're doing. Nothing more frustrating than to throw a line to somebody and they haven't been trained. You don't know that, and now you're you're in for a rodeo. So put your people on the dock if you can. I have noticed a trend with a lot of the boats today. There's not very much room on the side of the boat to work a line, and it can be a little risky if you put your person over there and they're trying to do this while hanging on. They're trying to work a cleat with one hand. Not a good recipe. Weigh out the situation. You call the ball, but I think, in my opinion, if you can get somebody on the dock, your person, even if you have to go down a little bit and put them on another dock and they walk around to where you're going to be berthed. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to make a bold statement here, and again, if you don't agree, hit me up. But you come in. When you get this line to the dock and you get it around a cleat, you're done. You're moored. Okay? If we're going to tie up on this face here, the wind is blowing us off the dock. This is the nightmare of every boater. And you can tell me if you agree or not. If you have to tie up a boat and you have to back it into a slip and you're getting blown off the dock, you're going to be at pucker factor 10. No more after today. You get this down here, it doesn't matter. You're tied up. Boom. This is on a pendulum now. Ideally, you're gonna maneuver your boat. You're in the wind. You get it over here, and you're gonna be backing down. You're gonna let the wind. You're gonna give your starboard bow to the wind, and the wind's gonna start pushing it down, and you're backing up. And this guy's taking up slack as they get it. You're coming down, but you're not ever in any trouble. You're tied up. You're just going through the motions here. You come out, even if the wind blows you off the dock, all you have to do is hold this, give it a little bit of right rudder. Your stern's going to go here, and your bow's going to come up, and you're going to go right alongside the dock. Then you start backing up. Even if the wind blows you off the dock again, hold what you've got, come in and tie it up, and you're good to go. This, the whole pendulum thing, and especially in heavy winds, you can get away with, and I'm not talking about spring lines, and I'm not talking that you can't do other things. We're talking about a stepping stone, building blocks of how to drive your boat. And if you can get your head wrapped around this one little thing, your boat driving will radically change. Again, it's on a pivot. Now, if you get back here, I've seen this happen. You've got significant wind tide. You tie off to the stern. You put 4 over first. Well, now the wind's going to push your bow out. That's what the wind does. And you can't again, the relationship with the boat, if I need the bow to go this way, the stern needs to go this way, but you've tied it off. And I'm not saying that if it's not, if you don't have any wind or just a couple knots, that you can't horse it back in with your engines. You can. But what I'm trying to get to you is the concept of line 2. Line 2 is radically important because of the pendulum effect, okay? I will do a video down the road about towing, and I'm just gonna throw this out here real quick. So just to drive home the point, if you're gonna tow this boat alongside, this is called the tow strap, and again, it's number 2. You wanna be aft of their stern, just so that your engines are more efficient. So your line 2 is probably tied off to their line 3, and you want it to be as short as possible. Again, we're learning this about the stretch of the line. You utilize the stretch of the line with the tide. You want that stretch, but when you're trying to tow another boat, you don't want any stretch at all. You want to have those lines as short as you can get them. So it's called a tow strap. So now I take off, boom. If I have to back up, I only have one line on the boat, number 2, most important line on the boat. If I have to back up and I want to get this boat going over here, I let loose, and now it becomes a forward spring line, or number 3 if we do the classic boat lines. And what happens is now it starts towing it backwards, and you get into the direction you want. When you're done, you go forward, it goes back to being your tow strap. You're towing this entire boat with one line, number 2. Okay, so that's line 2 and the pivot point. So give it a try it out. Let me know if you think that, what your feelings. Me personally, I know that most people that I have taught to drive boats, once they get their head wrapped around this and once they start utilizing it, they look like a boss. They drive a boat like nobody's business. And I think, especially you single screw guys, you only have one screw and a barn door for a rudder. This thing is priceless. You can get yourself into situations. I watch these guys and they don't utilize their lines properly, and they just make their life so much harder. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. The next video is going to be about wind. I'm going to do wind and current. I want to get these things pumped out here so we can get into some of the more fun stuff.